Hello. Okay, so I'm going to be going over lateral raises, shoulder raises. It's called a couple of different things, but this movement I hear a lot from clients or just people that ask me if they're doing it right or that they don't like doing it because it bothers their shoulders. Shoulders are a very common weak spot, injury spot, so a lot of people have a lot of issues with it. So I'm going to kind of go over a couple different things that you should be watching for that you want to do and not want to do when it comes to lateral raises, shoulder raises, okay? So this is a movement that if you are into lifting, it's going to be one of your lighter movements. It's going to be similar to like a tricep extension or front raise. Anything that is going far away from your body is going to be a little harder to do. So these will have to be lighter than like what maybe you're normally used to lifting. So just be patient with it. And it's a very small muscle that you're targeting. So that's also why it has to be a smaller weight. So the way I like to kind of have it not all the way at my side, not in the front. Obviously that would be a front raise, kind of like in between 45 degrees. And I want you to think of leading with your elbows or picking up your elbows. So I always have a slight bend in my elbows, and I kind of start from here, leading with my elbows. So it's almost, my arms aren't quite at 90 degrees because that would be this, which is another movement you can do. It's a little less strain on your elbows, or on your shoulders, but for the sake of a full lateral raise tutorial, we're not gonna do those. So 45 degrees, so not quite out to the side like this, and you want to avoid having your elbow and your wrist higher than your shoulder. You do not need to go up like this. I even feel it in the back of my one shoulder, and I don't have any issues with my shoulder. So I always like to slightly bend forward, not like this because then your shoulder or your core isn't engaged. So here, just to kind of get a stronger stance and think, lead with your elbows, and wrists will be in line with the elbows, okay? So lead with the elbows, slight bend in the arms, and you're thinking not straight up to the side, not in front, kind of maybe somewhere in between or a little bit more towards the back. So here's straight out. This is where I want you to be. So wide V angle in front of you. So without the weight so you can kind of see, I think lead with my elbow. Okay, we'll go here this way. See, this would be straight out, and this is where I'm at, okay? So slight bend in the arm, not 90 degrees, slight bend in the elbow, and lead with the elbow, and the wrist should kind of follow. So think pick up the elbow, don't think you're pulling with the wrist, and you wanna make sure that you're not engaging your traps, which I see a lot. I have, I think, overdeveloped traps. So a lot of times these will take over and I'll start to feel really sore here, or the next day I'll feel sore like I work these muscles a lot, which I'm not, because I'm not doing shrugs or anything like that, but these muscles just like to take over. So what you want to make sure you're doing is when you start, you're kind of keeping your back muscles down and you're not letting them come up as you're pulling, okay? So you want to keep them locked down and only pulling up with your elbows. Okay, so all elbow movement or elbow leading, and you should feel it right here. Again, you're not gonna go super high. You're not gonna go above the height of your shoulders, okay? Once you do that, then you start to feel some pulling, and it's not fun. And then you can also feel it in your elbow, which also isn't fun. So start slow. And another kind of couple tips that I'll give for people that feel like they can't progress in here, because movements like this, anything that's like a strict shoulder movement, tricep stuff, they're going to be lighter weight. So it's going to be slower for you to progress because it's a smaller muscle. So it's not like a squat where you can utilize all these muscles in your lower body to increase your weight. With these, I always say if you can't jump up to that next weight and it's like a 5-pound jump, because a lot of times that's what we have for dumbbells, if you don't have like that 2.5 jump, If you only have 5, start kind of increasing the reps. And then once you get to like, I would say don't do more than 15 at a time. Once you start getting there, start doing holds. And then once you get there, do holds and slow down. And then up, hold, slow down. It's a way to increase intensity and build muscle without having to lift heavier. And then I always say, start just trying with the heavier weights. Even if you can only get 1, 2, 3, just start building on that. If you can't get a full set or 3 full sets, that's fine. But you have to kind of start somewhere. You're not going to be able to go from 3 sets of 10 with 10 pounds to 3 sets of 10 with 15 pounds. You're going to have to slowly work it. You're maybe only going to get a couple reps, and then you're going to maybe do 1 full set, and then like a large full set, and then you'll just have to work up from there. So, and the way to do that, if you can't quite even get just 1 with that next step up, just start doing holds. And then once you're good at that, start slowing on the eccentric, which is the down motion. Okay, so that's lateral raises.